DareDEVils, focus on the dev. It was very funny. We're presenting Chrominari. Oh, there we go. Alright, so this is the list of our team. I'm the only one here right now, but I'm our producer and our team lead, and we've got Jordan, Sarah, Vincent, Steven, Hannah, and Kevin with us here. A lot of us interested in design, so we're going to have a very active team with a lot of different ideas, but what we settled on is a 2D side scroller. It's going to be kind of action-packed in a dungeon, and it's going to be developed in Unity. And our main character, as you can see right there, is a mystical fox with color-changing abilities. No, I did not know about that other team, but we did just find our dual partners, so that was really cool. So we're going to be playing as this character as you explore through a monster-infested forest that has lost all of its colors. And for our color mechanics, we kind of did a different thing. We will have 3 different kinds of attacks: red, green, and blue. Red attack works great for red health bars, not so much for blue health bars, much less damage taken compared to this one. And some enemies might have multi-color health bars, which means you start with one attack and then go to the next one. And the way that you can kind of know that you're doing one attack versus the other, your little fox still will be changing colors. It's kind of like a paintbrush. Story of our game: our little character Inari lives in the forest. It's real cool. And then someone kind of rolls up and they take away all the color, and it's not really cool. A lot of the residents of the forest go bad. And you know what you got to do? You take up your little color powers and you start trying to fix things. This is kind of what we want the game to look like, more of a pixel art focused game, 2D, and you're going to be seeing everything from the side. We want all of our background to be kind of monochrome to represent the forest losing all of its color. You'll see some of the enemies also being monochrome as they too have lost their color, and you'll be fighting with those color powers, and you'll see how those attacks will be reflecting onto the health bars as you start fighting them. In the beginning of the game, you're going to get a tutorial with 3 different kinds of attacks: the red, the green, and the blue. They all have different styles, tentatively. So the red might have a short slash in front of you, green is a longer, slower stab, and blue might be a short projectile. Each color is meant to feel a little bit different. And the way that this is going to work in game is you might see one type of enemy with a red health bar, and you have to interact with them differently if they have a red health bar versus a green or a blue. But that sort of health bar color can switch to different enemy types, so you have to be very adaptive in your gameplay about what kind of enemy attacks you have to avoid around and what sort of attacks you have to use. This is dungeon color, so you have a lot of options in exploring around the area. There will be a lot of potentials for obstacles and challenges you go along the way, like combat, puzzles, platforming, and little mini-bosses. What you're trying to do throughout the game is collect the keys that will unlock the ability to fight the final boss. And, restore the color to the forest. But we want to have some replayability and optional features, so there's going to be some unique power-ups kind of hidden off to the side that you can get if you do several different playthroughs or you try to do like a really in-depth first playthrough. This is kind of some idea of how we had the map laid out, that you start in the middle there, and you've got a lot of different options to explore, going up, to the side, left, or down. We want to have a lot of different options, but really, you might only need to go to 2 or 3 of these places, but you have the option to explore further and get more of those cool secrets and power-ups. Speaking of which, those sort of puzzles might be involving painting on stuff, but some puzzles might require those special power-ups, which we are hoping to do in the form of combos. First, an example of our puzzles: you might have these 3 torches there, you might have to just do the basic attacks there, but we might have different colors that you have to paint. With using red, green, and blue, we can also have the alternate color system of cyan, magenta, and yellow, and we might have an example of, say, like a cyan torch there, where you'll need to do a green attack and a blue attack. So there's a lot of options for how we can integrate colors to puzzles, where you're not as in such an intense combat environment. You can have more complicated color matching problems. And we have kind of a little bit of a storyboard here to show off how we might do some combos. After defeating a little mini boss there, he shows off like, hey, maybe you can shoot off a really cool fireball, and maybe it's left, right, blue, and you shoot off a blue fireball, and hey, you unlock next area by shooting down that tree. It could be that 3 red attacks makes fireball. You could have a double jump based off a combo system, but we want to have kind of a very combo oriented where you're switching between a lot of different kind of attack and you have a very fluid and dynamic play style. And of course, at the end of the game, after you get all the little key items, you're going to go and fight the final boss. It's going to be really cool, promise. And then once that happens, there'll be a nice, cool, dramatic cutscene where all the colors are restored to the land and everyone's all cool. Yeah. That's our game. Yes.
The combos that the bosses reveal, can you use them before you discover what they are?
No. They'll be unlocked afterwards. Yeah. Yes.
So you're approaching the enemy and you're facing them, right? So whenever you attack, you have to turn around to use your tail to attack them, or how are you guys going to do that?
It'll be mostly just wherever you're facing. If you're holding a direction, they'll attack in that direction. It'll probably be an animation of the fox turning around to hit them with the tail.
Okay.
How we basically plan it. It's not going to be where you have to like walk backwards into people to attack. It'd be probably a bit too awkward. We want to keep this relatively approachable since the kind of cutesy paint art style has like a lower ESRB rating, so we kind of want to have a more generally approachable game, something that can work on controllers for young audiences, but also people who want to kind of go a little bit more crazy with combos on a keyboard or something.
And 15 seconds left. If anybody.
Yes.
Anybody else? All right, thank you.